Greek mythology is full of fascinating monsters. One of the most powerful and dangerous of these was the sea monster Charybdis. Charybdis was not just your regular creature, she was a force of nature that occasionally appeared as a roadblock in several Greek heroes' journeys. Like many of the most terrifying creatures in Greek mythology, Charybdis is always described in female terms, and her name roughly translates to swallow or to belch. She had a tragic backstory, turned into a monstrosity by the very gods she had served once. So what exactly was Charybdis, and why was she so powerful? Charybdis is a sea monster living beneath a fig tree growing from a rock, and famous for her position in the maritime folklore. She played a central role in the treacherous waters of the Strait of Messina, where she dwelled alongside the terrible Scylla. Charybdis could swallow huge amounts of water 3 times a day and then belch it back up. This process created gigantic whirlpools that would drag in and destroy ships and their crews. Her neighbor Scylla on the other side would reach out and grab passing sailors for dinner. The two creatures were said to have been within bow shots of one another, making the strait extremely dangerous for boats within range of one of the beasts, forming a legendary obstacle that sailors must brave. Depictions of Charybdis are very thin on the ground, because nobody spent their time on her look, simply focusing on the whirlpools she formed. We get the clearest depiction of Charybdis from Homer's Odyssey, where she is depicted as a massive, bladder-like creature with flippers for arms and legs. The earliest writers didn't bother giving her a genealogy, she was just a terrible force of nature existing as long as the oceans themselves. Later accounts claim that she was the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia, but this doesn't really fit, as it would make her the grandmother of Poseidon. In a more suitable version, Charybdis is the daughter of Pontus and Gaia, and was known for her voracious appetite. In a fierce dispute between Zeus and Pontus, the dutiful daughter helped her father flood lands and islands. Believing the land of men to be his domain, the chief of Olympus saw her actions as theft. In retaliation, he captured Charybdis, then chained her beneath the sea. It was there that she was turned into the sea creature we know today. The curse made her uncontrollably thirsty because of her voracious nature, and this is what caused her to swallow the ocean 3 times a day, in a desperate attempt to quench her thirst. Another story tells of Charybdis as a particularly greedy woman who stole an ox from Heracles' cattle. As a punishment for her crime, Zeus struck the woman with lightning bolts, sending her flying into the seabed where she underwent a gruesome transformation. Though these two versions differ in their portrayal of Charybdis' origin, they both convey the underlying themes of punishment and transformation. Whether known as the daughter of Pontus and Gaia, or as a mortal woman punished by Zeus, Charybdis embodies the consequences of daring to challenge the gods. Several notable heroes encountered the sea creature in the course of their travels. Returning home from Troy, Odysseus was forced to sail through the perilous strait. Knowing how dangerous it was for his whole crew to go anywhere near Charybdis, he decided to sail close to the other side, where Scylla grabbed and ate 6 of his men. In the legend of Jason and the Argonauts, the heroes had to navigate through the deadly path between Charybdis and Scylla on their way back from Colchis. This should have been a death sentence for Jason and his crew, but they were saved after receiving assistance from Hera and the nymph Thetis. Together with Scylla, whom she is often mentioned in conjunction with, Charybdis creates a nearly insurmountable passage known as between Scylla and Charybdis, a phrase which has become a metaphor for choosing the lesser of 2 evils. Charybdis symbolizes the relentless power of the sea and the dangers it holds for seafarers. She was feared for her formidable strength, capable of wreaking havoc on any unfortunate vessel that strayed too close to her presence. She is a great example of the classical Greek monster. Part of her function is to serve as an explanation of very real phenomena, whirlpools. Of course, the ancient Greeks didn't have the scientific knowledge to explain whirlpools. Something so terrifying had to be the creation of a monster. Due to her depiction, the myth of Charybdis is typical of a Greek monster, many of which were not necessarily born evil. She didn't want to sink boats and drown sailors, it was just an unfortunate consequence of her transformation. It was Zeus who was responsible for the deaths of innocent people, for they were the result of his curse. But as usual, mortals were the victims of the gods and their petty squabbles. Thank you for watching this video, so see you in another episode. And as always, stay curious.